Hi dear friends, welcome back to Aksharadhari. I'm Devraj. Today is 20 November 2023. So let's start reading the newspaper. Before going to start the newspaper reading, I would request you guys to please subscribe the channel, like and comment. If you like the video, please share it with your friends so it may be useful for somebody to utilize the opportunities from the Aksharadhari and team. I hope you guys are working towards to improve our communication in English and also preparing for the competitive exams. Very nice. If you guys have any doubts or comments, you guys can leave the comment. So as per your like doubts, we would try to resolve your doubts. So let's start reading the newspaper, The Hindu, which is very important for the competitive exams. This is the front page. It's about the development. Let's go. This is the front page. Deal likely to free hostages and pass fighting. Raji targets women's votes in Rajasthan. Trapped Thai nationals being rescued via China. Economy thrives, but social indicators lag. The state fails fully in HDI. Gulpur Bullar wins Indonesia Masters. Ashies overpower India, win the sixth national cup. Workers complete a week in tunnel rescue efforts on. Authorities say five approaches and the trap to the trapped team are being explored, along with the creation of a canopy to secure the structure. Gadkari hopes the 41 men will be out in 2.5 days. Recruitment KA for reforms. Women infant electrocuted after stepping on live wire on footpath. Very bad. Concern over water levels in Kaveri Basin dams. 8-year-old girl who fell into art samba vessel dies. Concern over water levels in Kaveri Basin dams. KA proposes reforms in recruitment scams. This comes after some candidates in Kalaburgi tried to cheat over using Bluetooth devices during the competitive examination conducted by the Examinations Authority on October 28. Sriki moved bitcoins worth 10 crore in just 22 minutes from inside quarantine cell. Lack of queer representation in legal, political, and legislative spheres questioned. College principal booked under a JJ Act for harassing student. Police catch security guard planting pistol. Sandalwood tree stolen. Victims' skin were waiting for their return from the Diwali celebrations. Family members expressed concern for other people who could potentially be hurt by such incidents owing to negligence by the authorities. Mescom suspends by officials. Incident raises for safety concerns. The incident has left citizens across Bangalore shaken as entangled cables and wires are seen hanging from trees and electricity poles in several spots. Man held for misbehaving with the cabin crew. Woman trampled to death. Servants of knowledge and public resource to digitally achieve Motilal Banarshi Das out of copyright books. Sravana Belagula Lakkundi to be proposed for inclusion in tentative list of UNESCO sites. State getting far lower allocation from center under Samagra Shikshana compared to AP, Gujarat, Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu, and Telangana. Karnataka receives the least both in terms of total allocation and per child cost. SDK accuses CM of outsourcing Corona constituency works to Athindra. PM has stolen a Congress guarantees to face elections in 5 states and DKs. 5 lakh football at Krishi Mela despite World Cup final. It is hard to tell stories of women in a theater built by men, so we must break the structure. There are so many of these iconic women who ran these companies, but there is a lack of celebration and acknowledgement. Practicing theater is also considered to be not respectable for a man. IMB's NSRCELO's circular conservations for circular economy startups and investor fraternity. Young startups and enterprises spoke about several challenges that are common across the industry and hindered the growth of startups. The joy of being a risk taker, dancer, and a workshop. Rakshit Shetty steers the sequel to the show, Coming Together of Cultures. VRS, GBJP, AIM are together, says Priyanka. VRS leaders trying to instill fear in people, says Revant. Telangana agitation was for self respect and self administration and not power, says TPCC leader, and adds that the current regime has to be ousted from office if the state has to be saved. Two suspected poachers had two country made guns seized, three down in KRS backwater. All 22 Indian fishermen detained by Sri Lankan Navy for poaching freed. Education Plus Game of Consent, a broad game developed by students, approaches the unique challenge of sex education in India with a touch of fun. A former Home Secretary and her dangerous legacy. Let's read this editorial page from Bayana. Suella Braverman, Rishi Sunak's Indian origin Home Secretary, has been sacked for defying her boss by publishing an incendiary opinion piece recently without implementing the changes requested by Downing Street. In an article for the Times, Mistress O'Brien, known for right wing views, berated the police for the double standard of responding sternly to nationalist protesters while ignoring pro Palestinian mobs, as she has termed the British demonstrators calling for a ceasefire in Gaza. Sisters Braverman has spent the last year as Home Secretary fighting culture wars over our views on immigration, crime, and even homelessness. That Rishi Sunak had tolerated our rhetoric raises questions about whether he shared some of our opinions. He will now have to deal with the fallout of a bitterly divided country whose views of human rights, conflict, and multiculturalism are being tested on the touchstone of Westminster's unflinching support for Israeli needs a current war against Hamas, setting off another culture war. Even by civil Braverman records, her opinion piece on number 9 set a new low. She attacked the police for not caving into political pressure to ban a pro-police Palestinian demonstration. One of a series of Saturday marches seeking to highlight the humanitarian crisis in Gaza as a result of the Israel Defense Forces sustained attacks that on this occasion they happened to coincide with the Armistice Day. She had already dismissed these demonstrations as hate marches, a sentiment that our Prime Minister faintly chimed in on, describing the demonstration as disrespectful to the memory of those who had fought and died for the United Kingdom's freedom. Neither of them seemed to care that the demonstrators were calling for a halt to bloodshed on the anniversary of the armistice that ended the Great War, in which blood was shed by some of the 4 lakh Muslims from the subcontinent who fought on the fields of Yub are the Arabs who fought alongside the British in the Middle East, charging the police with playing favorites when it comes to protesters. Mr. Braverman accused the pro-Palestinian mobs of an assertion of primacy by certain groups, particularly Islamists, thereby igniting yet another culture war that questions the loyalties of Muslims in Britain. Reacting to her comments, Baroness Saida was a former chair of the Conservative Party and a former cabinet minister, called the Home Secretary dangerous and divisive. Of the cabinet, Braverman served in a Boroness was he observed that the theatre were those in government who project has patriots, but they are indeed arsonists. They set this country alight. They pit a community against community. They create these fires. Rishi Sunak will now have to put out these fires, but he has let them rage unchecked for too long. Time and again, he expressed confidence in Suella Braverman as she stoked controversy and outrage with attacks on immigrants against the woke left, against the very multiculturalism that has allowed the Britain made up diverse communities to rub along together. A compilation of her greatest hits as a cabinet minister in both the Liz Truss and the Sunak governments reads as a refreshing mix of dog whistle politics and xenophobia, why which is not being officially condemned when they were uttered have succeeded in moving political discourse in the UK further to the fight. Right. Braverman's problem with immigration. That Suella Braverman has a problem with immigration is well known. Soon after she became Home Secretary under Truss, she told a conservative gathering while miming the government of an aeroplane taking off. That's a plane taking up to Rwanda. That's my dream. It's my obsession. And her plans first drawn up by Preeti Patel as Home Secretary and then faithfully nurtured by Braverman as her successor. Those deemed to have entered the UK illegally will be deported to Rwanda and blocked from subsequent attempts to claim asylum in the UK. Not a single plane has actually taken off because the plan has been ruled illegal under the UK's human rights legislation. Yet for brave man under the Tory right, the scheme remains totemic. Instead of showing any inclination for understanding why people might risk their lives in a dangerous channel crossing, Braverman described the challenge posed by the small boats as the invasion of our southern coast. Ironically, for the now self-declared champion of British Britain Jewish community, soon after this intervention, she was confronted by an octogenarian Holocaust survivor in a constituency who told Mr. Braverman that use of invasion and as swarms reminded her of the language used to dehumanize and justifies the murder of my family and millions of others. Braven's man's weave remained unchanged. Her outspokesperson Spokeness and Indian immigrants in particular, who she accused in October 2022 of routinely overstaying their visas, almost derailed negotiations on a UK-India trade deal. That she herself is the daughter of immigrants does not seem to bother her in the least when she attacks immigrations. As she explained in October 2023, the wind of change that carried my own pains across the globe in the 20th century was a mere gust compared with the hurricane that is coming. The child of immigrants from Mauritius and East Africa via Goa has, however, reserved a special eye for multiculturalism, which she denounced in a speech in America earlier this year. At the time, she sat in a cabinet under a Hindu Prime Minister of Indian origin, with a colleague of Sierra Leonean British roots as she foreign secretary and her successor as Home Secretary. She is married to a Jewish man of South African extraction and is herself Buddhist. And yet, in her opinion, multiculturalism has had failed because it allowed people to come to our society and live parallel lives in it. The cruelty of this statement that asks people that they have shared their culture, their history, the essence of who they were before they entered Britain, whether willingly or seeking refuge, cannot be overstated. It makes all immigrants a fair game. Their loyalty constantly questioned, a legacy they will pass on to their children and grandchildren. The irony is, well, a brave man has now gone, sacked not for the views she espoused, but for openly defying her boss. The chessboard for moves are required to replace her full former Prime Minister David Cameron out of his post political life to become Foreign Secretary. The irony is unmissable. The Prime Minister who unleashed the Brexit debates that made the vitriol over immigration possible has now been recalled to douse the fires and present a more centrist. At table pays of the Conservative Party, India's External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar, who flew into London expecting to meet James Cleverly on the morning of the reshuffle, was not the only one surprised to find a new old face at the Foreign Office that morning. The fires of polarization that are burning in Britain are anything but new. After a year's supply of gasoline drip are paid to them, so they will not go out easily. Let's go to the next article. Steering road safety in India back onto the right lane. India's roads are a paradox. So they represent an enormous and growing opportunity to commute and connect, to transport and travel. They go hand in hand with the country's modernization and impressive economic progress. In this context, India has some of the greatest opportunities to build a strong road safety management framework with strong helmet producers, car manufacturers, big tech, and large road investments. And yet, as in many countries, they are also the source of a silent but deadly pandemic. Each year, a staggering 3 lakh people are estimated to be killed on the road in India, according to the United Nations World Health Organization. That is equivalent to more than 34 people every day, and that is a conservative estimate. The number of people suffering life-altering injuries in road crashes is exponentially higher even than that. Behind human suffering, there is a serious economic toll. In India, road crashes are estimated to cost between 5% and 7% of national GDP. India and the wider region in which it sits, it is far from alone. Road safety is a global problem with 1.3 million people killed in road crashes every year. But almost one in every road deaths around the world takes place in India. World Day of Remembrance. As the planet commemorated the World Day of Remembrance for road traffic victims on November 19th to provide a platform for road traffic victims and their families to remember, support, and act. Such figures should serve as a wake up call to all of us. We need immediate, coordinated, and evidence based interventions to boost road safety and drastically reduce the daily human tragedies behind the alarming statistics. This will require strategic investments in road safety measures, concerted political will at the national, state, and local levels, and a change of collective mindset. After all, every one of us is a road user in some way. To understand and tackle the scale and importance of the challenge. Last week, the government released a report that 2022 was the most fatal year for traffic crashes in India. Focus areas of the areas for better safety. Priority areas must include enforcing the use of seat belts not just for drivers but also for the passengers. Wearing a seat belt reduces the risk of death among drivers and front seat occupants by 45% to 50%, and the risk of death and serious injuries among rear seat occupants by 25%. Similarly, helmet use must be enforced among motorcyclists as well as the pillion riders passengers. Correct helmet use can lead to a 42% reduction in the risk of fatal injuries. Indeed, vulnerable road users, who include pedestrians, cyclists, and the riders of two wheelers, account for almost three quarters of road deaths in India, and passengers unbelted in the back seat are not only risks to themselves upon impact but also to those in the front seat. Speeding must be reduced and there can be no tolerance for drink driving. A recent report by the government revealed that speeding led to 70% of India's road crash deaths. Road infrastructure should be enhanced. Too many roads are not in a safe condition, although government programs in recent years have led to rapid improvements and large scale public awareness campaigns such as the new UN Global Campaign for road safety. Make a safety statement involving international celebrities must be undertaken to secure behavioral changes. The call to action is not new. The Sustainable Development Goals created in 2015 include a target 3.6 to have halve the number of global deaths and injuries from road crashes and a call to make public transport safer, more affordable, and more accessible to all. The good news is what we are already seeing steps in the right direction in India. The national government's implementation of the Motor Vehicles Act 2019 and enhanced data collection from road crashes are impactful measures that will help experts better understand where and why crashes are occurring and therefore how to reduce them. The UN helmet, the police in the major cities such as the capital and New Delhi are adopting modern technology such as intelligent traffic management systems to effectively regulate traffic flows in a much better way and minimize the potential for collision. To help increase access to safe helmets, the special envoy has worked with helmet producers to produce a low-cost ventilated United Nations standard helmet for under 20 dollar, including air in India. Private sector companies are searching for solutions. This is the only way, right? We cannot expect to succeed if we do not have a whole of society effort to improve road safety. But we are still only at the start of the journey. Your chances of surviving a road crash can vary enormously depending on what state you live in and what access you have to high quality emergency care services and proper safes after capital key. We also need to look increasingly at international best practices and successes and then adapt them to India's specific needs and circumstances. Road safety is a complex and a multi-dimensional challenge, but the benefits that come with addressing it can be equally profound. What we need is a comprehensive safe system approach as envisaged in the UN's the second decade of action for road safety 2021 to 2030 and full implementation of the Motor Vehicles Act of 2019. Ending the silent pandemic of road injuries will not only save lives but also strengthen the economy and improve the quality of life for everyone. Let's go to the next. Reigning promises. Competitive populism seems to have replaced communism in campaign. Partition mischief, governors rejecting bills without scars undermines parliamentary democracy. Making public education inclusive. The absence of the Muslim parties in Telangana have few Muslims in their candidate list. Telangana leads in economic indicators, lags in social measures. Telangana's HDI is poor as economic performance has not translated into their social development. IF chief stresses need to have invest in new technologies. ISC to petitions by Tamil Nadu, Kerala against governors today. Tamil Nadu government is likely to inform the Supreme Court of the Legislative Assembly's re-adoption of 10 crucial bills. Kerala says governor acting in ways that defeat the rights of people. Why should parties be made to approach the sea for the governors to act? We are a democracy in operation since the birth of the constitution. Kerala files another affidavit against governor over bills. IMA Nurses Association been honored with the Indira Gandhi Peace Prize. BJP Trinamool argue over death of man in Bengal. State minister says it is her fate. Experts welcome self-regulation norms in draft broadcasting bill, but say grey areas still remain. Three concerned contests likely in a third of seats in Telangana election. Rampant corruption in Rajasthan creating huge losses, says PM. PM walking around the clock for Adani Raul. CM's scepter uncertain and some political clout at stake. Raji starts campaign late. 77 Indian military personnel in Maldives. Pacts reviewed. Seven suspected Maoists arrested in West Bengal. PUCL condemns FIR against 13 persons at a prayer gathering. 77 Indian military personnel in Maldives. Facts reviewed. More than 100 agreements signed with New Delhi are under review by the Iceland's new government. And President Muji has initiated efforts to expel all Indian troops, says a Maldivian official. Congress rally to pay tributes to a deceased farm law protest. Professor stands by his lecture on Palestine. Tong regrets it's a misinterpretation. The university asked from former Delhi University professor to express dog regret over his remarks in a closed lecture. Animation film on home wire chosen for IFFI 2023. Nadi Chibir Notebook, a deep dive into India's rivers, wins a literary award in West Bengal. The Gita shows the path. Argentines vote in a cliffhanger election with economy at stake. Philippines leader Marcos visited to Hawaii to boost ties faces protest. More than 500 Rohingyas refugees land in Indonesia from Myanmar. Nakargaon Shania Palacios wins crown at Miss Universe 2023. Report hints at a tentative Gaza deal to free hostages and pass fighting. All parties would freeze combat operations for at least 5 days, while 50 or more hostages are released in groups every 24 hours. Israel and US deny the deal, while Qatar says sticking points blocking that deal are mainly practical and logistical. Delegation from Palestinian Authority Muslim nations to visit and amid Gaza war. US leaders call back to block assistance for Pakistan. PML's and moods Plan B to make Nawaz Sharif Pakistan PM for record fourth time. Trapped Thai nationals to exit Myanmar through China. Bangladesh's highest court upholds a ban on key opposition Islamist party. UK's aunt will not rest with the tax cuts that fuel inflation. Protecting bonds from taxes. Five money habits that make you wealthy. Global rankings of the richest show that entrepreneurs who run a successful business amass for more wealth than the employees. Familiarity breeds contempt. Protecting bonds from taxes. Think investor to achieve tax efficient asset allocation. Consider shifting bond investments from taxable investments location to tax exempt, subject to investments aligning with the life goals. Prized possession, Tendulkar gives Kohli iconic number 10 journey. Rahul beats Rahul Dravid's record for most dismissal in AWC. India falls for its second lowest total in 2023 campaign. India falls 21 runs short of an all-time World Cup record. Aussies ride on Eddie Thorne clinch a sixth crown. Heartbreak for men in blue as come inside after bowling out the house partner party. Survived some anxious moments before arriving the team winning force for the loss of only 4 wickets. We did not give enough runs for bowlers to defend. Dravid Rohit has been exceptional both as a person and as a leader. These are moments you will always remember, Cummins. It has been a big year for everyone. Our team has been here in India for tests, played the Ashes, won the World Test Championship, and to top it off with this is just huge, says the Australian skipper. Pro-Palestine picture invader apprehended by security. I was not invited for the final Kapil Dev. Djokovic outs Sinner to win record seventh final crowns. Verstappen battles through to win his 18th race of the season. Leclerc pips Perez for second spot. All routes led to Motera as the Indians fans painted the city blue. Fans wearing India's jerseys carrying the national flag and anticipating their team's victory thronged that stadium. But in the end, the wait for the third triumph of the man in blue grew early longer. Bulla lands a closing eagle for a five-shot win in Indonesia's Masters. The victory takes the Indian to fourth place and the Asian two-order mate Kocha, who had a bogey beat 63 on the final day, finishes second. Axel celebrates first title since September. Jeevan and Jayasundar Palta at the final order. Haryana thrashes Gujarat at 30 and tops group to enter quarters. Sri Lanka Rohan Alva wins the LGB Formula 4 crown. France smashes Accords in 14-0 win. Dutch, Swiss and Romanian qualify. The whole ambience is unbelievable. So many people, it's gotta be fun. The summit clash of cricket quadrennial showpiece enthralls the fans and enthusiasts from different parts of the world. Chimera shows the multiple genotype and maybe human organs. A genetic chimera is a single organism composed of cells of more than one genetic makeup. Human fig Chihuahuas have been induced in laboratory settings in a bid to develop model systems that could produce human organs of a suitable size, anatomy, and physiology. Researchers have attempted to grow full human organs inside the bodies of animals using induced pluripotent stem cells technology. Free Martin's black sheep among cattle. Text and context. This is the last page, guys. Premature babies evacuated from Gaza's Shifa hospital. The estimates of the for cotton pressing for 2024 to 2024 season. The deaths per year due to antimicrobial resistance 5 in million. The number of cricket World Cups won by Australia 6. Wow. Myanmar soldiers who crossed over to India and were sent back. The role of the governor in legislature. What are the options before a governor when they receive a bill for assent from the state legislature assembly? Do governors have powers of discretion and when can they use it? What have been the accommodations of Sarkari and Panchi Commission? What is the status of the Georgia election fraud case? Will the plea deals lead to strong witnesses against the conspiracy to hijack the 2020 elections in the US? How Amazon is plumbing a warehouse with robots amid worker safety concerns. Amazon is aiming to master mobility and manipulation inside the warehouse with the Melpop robots, where while mobility makes robots move things faster inside the facility. Manipulation helps them pick and place items from totes. The match today was a dump sweep. Is a quiz on the ways conflicts currently is raging on the world. This is the last page, guys. If you would like to read the last page, you guys can read. I hope you guys have enjoyed the newspaper reading and don't stop just for 30-40 minutes and continue reading for 2 hours in a day. It will make you really very fluent in communication. So in the 30 days, if you are the beginner. So don't forget to be in reading every day. So it will make you really very perfect. So see you in the if you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please subscribe the channel, like and comment. If you like the video, please share it with your friends. I would be very happy to bring very future videos, updated videos related to education, healthcare, and personal issues. See you in the upcoming videos, guys. Have a great day. Bye bye. Take care.